Online publishing and adaptive learning.
What is the connection between adaptive learning and online publishing and content?
Well, let's teach our class about it. Online content and publishing must be adaptive to accurately reflect the current social, political, and economic context. So, what does the literature say about online publishing and content? There are two key understandings we need to think about when thinking about online publishing and content: the echo chamber debate connected to the idea of the filter bubble, and the quality and validity of online content. The author of this book, The Filter Bubble, begins to grapple with the idea that the more that we make online content adaptive, we are building ideological silos where we're limiting our exposure to oppositional views. There are two sides to this debate. Some think it's very concerning, connected to the concept of groupthink and ideological segregation, whereas others think, it's not a big deal. That in reality, the content that we're exposed to is through marketing and our own choices and how we engage with content on the internet. Think clicks, swipes, taps. This brings into question, how do we adapt to individuals without narrowing that focus? Well, Kim Kardashian makes it to a teacher's college PowerPoint. She's definitely winning. Did Kim K get robbed in Paris? True or false? Well, based on the online content you're exposed to, you may have a different answer. The two articles show two conflicting responses. The New York Times talks about Kim K's robbery. It gives details on what happened on that night in Paris. Whereas the Sun article says that it was a conspiracy. Recent news shows that Kim K is suing the media outlets publishing the wrong information, but that's enough about Kim K. The validity of the source did not matter in order for it to be published and pushed to content consumers. This calls into question the quality of the content in online publishing. Practically anyone can create a website. Schools, businesses, government entities, churches, and libraries create websites so people can learn more about what they do. Individuals can create personal sites or blogs to write about their families, friends, work, or any other subject. Corporations can make websites to promote their products, and political activists can publish websites to promote their cause. Anyone with an idea and internet access can create a website and fill it with just about any content that they want. But which voices and value systems are deemed credible? Well, there are sites that we trust and that are deemed credible or valid based on of where you are situated in social, political, and economic networks. I know that I look at the New York Times. When we think about quality and content on online sources, we think about the lack of check and balances and quality control. However, the dissemination of content is open to the public and available to all. We're able to make the connection to adaptive learning, and we'll see the necessity and power in being able to edit content.
So, what does the literature say about adaptive learning? Well, before I get into adaptive learning, I have to say, as a gamer, when I think of adaptive learning, I instantly think about video games. I know, what do video games have to do with education? But if you played any recent games, you know that if you make enough mistakes in a video game, the video game will ask you, do you want to make this easier? There are two types of systems that fall under adaptive learning. There's the adaptable system, something that falls within the natural domain, which isn't necessarily educational learning. It takes into account the actions that you take every day, and using that data creates media that you consume that conforms to that data that is collected. Think Google Ads. You don't tell Google what you're interested in. Google collects data about you and then suggests things via ads or suggests search options that you might be interested in. Another system is the adaptive system, where the user must input information. Think Pandora or Spotify. Things you don't prefer get hidden, while things of interest are brought forth based on the decisions you make within the application. The importance of adaptive learning is that the content can evolve to society's citizens and their increased capacity to learn and gives them the materials they need to innovate over the course of their lives. Adaptive learning can be both individually constructed and socially curated. One example of adaptive learning is Khan Academy. If you look at Khan Academy, it shows you things that you've been working in the past, things that you might resume learning about as far as content, and kind of as a game aspect, it gives you badges for things that you've accomplished, depending on how many answers you got correct, videos that you viewed, time you spent on the website. In addition, you can look at the activity on the site over or your progress in the subject matter. For example, you can see what math skills you've mastered, what needs to be practiced, what you haven't learned yet, and how you're progressing. In addition, you can see the amount of time you've spent on the website. Content is divided into video content, skills practiced, and if you're interested in programming, it will also show you the amount of time you spent trying to learn programming skills. So let's look at fourth grade math skills. Here, I have the option of practicing math skills that fall under the fourth grade curriculum. Khan Academy gives me a variety of problems that I can try and gives me instant feedback if I've gotten the answer right or wrong. If I have any questions, I get an instant hint upon request. If I'm still having trouble, I can look at a short video of how to do the problem.
Compare 98,989 and 98,899.
You get the idea. As you practice these skills, you get instant feedback. Also, you can try a mastery challenge. The mastery challenge content is pulled from various skill sets within the fourth grade curriculum. Here, you can see that my progress has been updated in real time. I can also see the potential badges that I can earn if I continue practicing at this math skills. As you can see, there's a breadth of mathematical tasks that are presented so that I don't show frustration in any particular skill and it keeps me engaged. Here, the progress window shows me my mastery, if I've leveled up, and what still needs to be practiced. If I got enough questions wrong, it would actually decrease my level. If you're also interested in programming, there's an entire section on Khan Academy programming. Here, you can see the curriculum, and this is great for on-demand learning for anything that you're doing, either in workplace or school. There's also a community of knowledge where you can ask questions or look at other projects that have been submitted. Here on the community question board, you can answer someone else's question or ask a question of your own. This is the social aspect of Khan Academy. You can also try project challenges. As can be seen here, this challenge for animation. In addition, you could see the codes that could help you in this challenge task. The really great thing about Khan Academy, as far as education is concerned, is that a teacher can use it to assess the progress that their student has. Students that are developing well in a skill set can help students that are weak in that skill set, which relates to the zone of proximal development. A quick SWOT analysis of adaptive learning. One of the strengths of adaptive learning is that the platform can evolve to society's needs. Weakness is that it's limited in the learning styles that it can adapt to. An opportunity is the potential for the adaptive learning platform to be shared and adapted for learning internationally and to fit the needs of the global community. A threat would be the oversaturation of the market of adaptive learning platforms, too many options, and not enough overlap of content. Now, the marriage of online publishing and adaptive learning both rely on peer review.
Can also be updated in real time.
Anyone can partake in the creating of content and the direction that the content is going.
It's also accessible to more people.
It's also become commonplace in accepted forms of media. One form of media that definitely shows the marriage of online publishing and adaptive learning is Wikipedia.
So here we have Wikipedia, which is an online platform that is adaptable in terms of content. We're going to search for Barack Obama. And see how his page has changed over time, depending on the social, economic, or political context of the country.
As you can see, his Wikipedia is pretty robust with information.
We have his early life and career, and things that he's been doing.
But to see the evolution of the page, you must look at the View History tab. Here, you can see there have been a lot of changes that have been made to this page.
These changes aren't limited to his birthplace, whether he's a citizen, and the policies that he's pushed through Congress.
This page also allows you to compare changes that have been made to the page. Here you see a side-by-side comparison of changes that are made at two different points in time. They don't look like a big deal, but this is a really easy way to see what changes have been made and to critique what changes have been made.
The peer review that's associated with Wikipedia makes it adaptive, and reflect the current understanding of the content.
Wikipedia is also great for um, being accessible internationally. As you can see from this landing page, there are a lot of suggestions of entries that we might be interested in looking at, like The Left Hand of Darkness. It's a typical looking Wikipedia page. But the really great thing is also we can look at the edits that have been made, and also we can change the language that it can be accessed in. This is really important for adaptive learning and online publishing because it's not enough just to have everything in English. We live in a global community.
So content is adaptable and the language is adaptable as well.
And that's why we're presenting the class with our own class wiki page.
So we consolidated information from all of the class risers and wanted as a group to adapt online content in an area that we're all gaining expertise. Today we were able to dig into online content and publishing and its connection to adaptive learning, and now we're going to be able to synthesize that knowledge by just participating in the process of editing content to make it match our current understanding.
So can't wait to have an in-person discussion with you all.